Hey guys, what's going on? So, um, I've been thinking about some stuff, and I thought I would talk to you guys first. Because today on the leadership call, we talked about finding courage through practice, right? And the more you practice, the more courageous. And I have something I want to share with the whole world, but I thought first I'd practice with you guys. So we're going to talk about finding time. This is something I've been really I won't say excited, but it's a topic that's been on my mind a lot, and it's something I get excited about because we have so much more time than we think we do, and time is one of those challenges that I think so many people have. I know it's one of the top reasons why people say they don't want to join Scentsy, they don't want to host a party, or consultants on my team say they can't do all the things because they don't have time, right? And whether that's an excuse to not face the fears, or whether it's true and you're truly just busy and spinning your wheels and overwhelmed with all the things, time and taking control of your time and finding out how to get more of it. Yes, you can get more of it. I know you think it's like just this thing that runs out all the time, but you can find more time. And I've been doing some research and some studying and some learning, and my hair is a mess, about time. And I want to share a few things with you. So I have a couple of thoughts. I have lots of thoughts, but I'm just going to share a couple today. So number one is the way we think about time. So most of us think, and we've heard this over and over, I know I've heard it over and over, that there are 24 hours in a day, right? And everybody has the same 24 hours to do all the things, right, in a day. The problem is we don't do all the things in a day. And all the days are different. Monday is very different than Friday. Would you agree? Saturday is very different than Wednesday, right? So each day is so very different that it's hard to say, well, I have the same 24 hours because each day is different. But what does stay fairly consistent, there are exceptions obviously, but are your weeks. Now, most people say their week starts Monday morning, right? And that would be the beginning of your week. And then you go through your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you have the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Some people consider Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that week tends to repeat itself over and over again. True? So we all have the same 168 hours in a week. 24 hours times 7 is 168. And what I found interesting is if that's what you consider your week, if your week starts Monday morning, your middle of the week is really Thursday evening at 5 p.m. That's a whole different way to think about your week. So if you get to Thursday at 5 p.m., most people are going, woohoo, tomorrow's Friday, the week is over. But really, that's midweek. That's the very middle of your week. And so you've only used half your week and you have another whole half of the week to do all the things, right? The other thing to think about is this 168 hours. So my husband said when I share this with people, you have to share the math because it just doesn't even seem possible. So 24 hours in a day times 7 days is 168 hours each week. Is that for, oh, yay, okay, 168 hours in a week. Now, we should sleep 8 hours a night, right? 8 times 7 for sleep is 56. And if we subtract 56 hours for sleeping, we get 112 left, right? Now, most people have a full-time job and they work 40 hours at their full-time job. So if we subtract 40 hours for work, we still have 72 hours to allocate to whatever we choose. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that really makes you think differently about how you're spending your time. So you have 72 hours. So you've slept your full 8 hours every night. You've worked a full-time 40-hour-a-week job and you still have 72 hours and you're saying, but I have to commute to work, I have to eat, all the things, right? So let's add another 10 hours and make it a 50-hour work week. Maybe you work a little extra, maybe you commute a bit. You still have 62 hours to allocate. And yes, you have to work and you have to do all the things, but you can choose how to eat, how much time you spend doing that. You can also eat with people so that you are then spending family time. So they're all a little different, right? Some people don't eat breakfast, so you can't count that. So you're eating, you really get to choose those hours and how you spend them. If you're cooking dinner with a partner or with your family, that's different. Or if you go to a restaurant and you're having fun and that's entertainment. So your eating hours kind of are your choice too. So you have at least 60 hours every week that you get to decide what to do with. That's after sleep and after work. 60 hours. That is a lot of hours. Now, if you're only thinking about your 24 hours in a day and you subtract your sleep and you subtract your work and you subtract all the responsibilities, there's not a whole lot left. And you only feel like you're working with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hours, which feels very scarce. It feels very like there's not enough. To do all those things on your list, you only have these few hours left in a day. But if you think about your whole week and you realize that you actually have like 60 hours to do all the things, because not everything needs to get done today, right? So how would you maybe, to me, it sort of relieves the pressure a little bit. I have more hours than I thought. I thought I only had a couple. No, I have 60. I have 60 hours that you get to decide how to spend them. Now, the best, most effective way is to plan those ahead of time. Figure out what it is you need to do this week. Figure out what it is you want to accomplish. Can you spare a couple hours for yourself to work out, to read a book, to do some meditation or take a walk? When you have 60 hours to allocate, then it feels a little easier to let go of 1 or 2 to spend on yourself. It feels okay to let go of 1 or 2 to exercise. It feels a little bit more comfortable to maybe allocate 1 or 2 hours to build your Scentsy business. When you're only working with a couple hours a day, it feels like there's not enough time to do your Scentsy business. It feels like there's not enough time to do your exercise or to go for a walk or to sit quietly for 10 minutes. But when you're working with 60, thinking you could probably spare 1 or 2 to do the things that matter to you, to do the things that you think are important and that will put you in the right direction to where you want to be. So you don't feel like you're always struggling, you're always behind, and you're never getting it all done. The other thing I wanted to show you is if you have all these hours, that's why planning ahead is so important. That's a topic for another day. You've got to spend your hours wisely. True? So if you have hours to spend, and time is finite, we do only have 60 hours in a week, but we want to use them most effectively. So I found something on my phone today, and I don't know if you guys realized it. Hello, Miss Riley. So I have an iPhone. So those of you that have an iPhone, you have this availability. If you don't have an iPhone, I'm guessing that your Android phone probably has something similar. So I would look for it. So on your iPhone, if you swipe this way, it tells you your screen time, right? So that's your screen time for today. Now, I had seen that before, and that's like, okay, cool. But if you click on, yes, Riley, you need to watch. You have 60 hours that you get to allocate, actually more than that, 72, that you can allocate to anything you want. It's amazing. It's a completely different mind shift in thinking about your time to make you feel a little more or less stressed and get a little bit more done maybe. Okay, so this screen time thing, I have to show you again. So you swipe over and you have this little thing. But I've never done this before. If you tap it, it opens up a whole thing, right? And this is more detailed. So you get a graph as to when you were on your phone, so you know what times you're doing it. It also shows you the apps and how long you spent on each one. It shows you what time you picked up your phone and started using it, and how many times in a day you picked up your phone. You guys, this is valuable information. If you are feeling like you don't have enough time and you are rushed and are just too busy and overwhelmed, this is valuable information. How many notifications have you gotten? 2 per hour I'm averaging today. All right, so this is well and good, right? But this is just today. I found it way more valuable because we're talking about your week, right? Because the week is what is repetitive. The week is how we live our lives. So let's take a look at the last 7 days of my screen time, right? This is a new one. I don't know if it's just on the new phones or if it's updated for just Apple in general. If you have an updated software for your iPhone, it should be there. Right, Caitlin? We do so many things on our phone, we don't even realize it. So if you just, so this is the main screen. If you have an iPhone, you just swipe and it should be right there. It popped up on mine automatically. You could probably take a time. If you go to settings, there's probably a menu that says screen time. All right, so we're looking at the last 7 days. So it tells me how much I was on my phone per day. So it's an average, right? It's gonna average out. Whether you've increased your usage or not, has a little chart that shows the times and what days I was on it the most, right? So I know when I'm using my phone. But here is what is interesting. It shows what apps you used and how much time you spent on them. Hello. If you are trying to build a Scentsy business and you are struggling with finding time to do that and get all the things done, and you have Candy Crush at the top of your apps that you're using and you're spending hours on games on your phone, like, hello, there's some time right there. Just found your time. There it is. But let's look at this. So this is a little bit more subtle. Pickups. How many times I picked up my phone each day? How much time do you think it takes to pick up my phone 44 times a day and check it, right? What about notifications? 247 notifications. About 35 times a day, I get a notification. What happens when you get a notification? You look at your phone. And when you look at your phone, that's time. The minutes and seconds are taken away, but it's also distracting you from whatever it is you were focusing on, right? And then it takes time to get refocused back to what you were doing. That time that you spend shifting activities back and forth is wasted time. So what do we learn from this? We learn that if we need more time in our day and we're feeling overwhelmed and there's just not enough to get all the things done, we need to shut the notifications off on our phone. Seriously. Even the ones that are important, but there's no reason why I need notifications for some of these things. And I can shut them off and it will limit the time that I am distracted throughout my day and that I have to refocus. It will limit the time that I spend checking to see what's that notification. It will limit the time I pick up my phone so I can stay focused on the things that I'm supposed to be doing. It will limit the time I get, because once your phone's in your hand, what do? You start looking at other things. It will limit the time I'm distracted by some of these other apps that might be wasting my hours, my precious hours. So, something to think about. Sometimes we have more time than we think. The way we think about time and whether we have enough of it or not, and how we allocate and plan that time and use it wisely and effectively. So think about your week and your 168 hours of your week. What are you going to do with that 168 hours, right? Take away your sleep, you take away your full-time job, and you still have 72 hours left. It's a lot of hours. And if you think about, not all tasks take an hour. There's a lot of things you can do in just a few minutes. So how many minutes do you have? I think it's like, I don't even know. Let's figure it out. What if you have 72 hours in a week? It's 4,320 minutes. Some things that you really want to do will not take a full hour. So you have 4,000 minutes that you can allocate however you choose. You choose your time. There's a ton of expectations and a ton of things that you have for yourself and that others have on you, but you get to choose which ones you give your 168 hours to. So choose wisely. And having the information about where you are wasting hours, perhaps, or where, if you don't have enough and you need to find some extra for something else you really want to do, then maybe information like this is one place that you can start to take back some of those hours that are just mindlessly flitting away. So I hope this was good information for you. If you liked it, if you found it valuable, if you want more, I have more time tips, more ways to find time that I plan on sharing with you guys. But if you are curious about it or excited about it, or you have questions about how to find time, or if you have a special situation, please comment. Let me know so I know what to share with you when and which one come first. Share this with your team. You might be able to. You should be able to. I don't know. But I have more coming, so I'm planning it. I'm reading a new book right now, so if you like books and you're into books, this is the one I'm reading right now. Off the Clock, Feel Less Busy While Getting More Done. Laura Vanderkam, she has half a dozen books, and they're all about time. One of them is called The 168-Hour Week, and lots of other more books about time and productivity. So that's definitely one to check out if you are a reader. If you like videos, she's got a lot of YouTube videos and stuff too. So time. So we're going to be talking about finding time, because I know that you guys are struggling with finding time to do, the whole work-life balance. You don't have to balance it. You just have to plan it and allocate the time where it needs to go. So we're going to figure out how to find the time for everything and allocate it where it needs to be according to what's important to you. And also for your potential recruits and potential hosts who say, no, I don't have time. I can't join this business. I just don't have time. I can't host a party. I just don't have time. Maybe there's be some things along the way we can learn about time and help everybody in the world find more time so we can do the things we really want to do. That is my plan. So again, if you liked it, comment, let me know if you have questions or thoughts, or you're looking forward to something more. I have some more things I'd like to share with you for another day. I hope everybody is having a great Monday and are looking forward to the week. And that's it for now.